got all dressed up for me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. What a pleasure to meet
How you
you.
doing?
know-
We've met a couple of times, actually, I think.
I was drunk. We were in the service. I thought I had to. Look at your outfit. You look like Lola Falana.
Thank you. Oh, and that's a compliment. I love Lola Falana.
Lola Falana in 1970.
Are you kidding me? The body of bodies, right?
Everything about Lola
Yes.
Falana.
The
Is she
first-
still with us?
I don't know. I think Lola Falana might be passed on. I mean, she bet.
Well,
The first-
now you've ruined the show.
Lola Falana's dead. I'm so sorry I had to come on here and tell you.
Good night.
Good night. Lola Falana is not longer with us.
Well,
What's really crazy, the first time I met you was, and I didn't meet you, I'm pretty sure I forced my introduction on you, was at Dublin's.
Dublin's?
Jay Davis room on Tuesday nights, and you walked in with this tall, beautiful black woman.
Oh, but
She looked like a showgirl.
I think that was my lawyer.
Oh, no, that wasn't your fucking lawyer. And I remember saying, oh, fuck, Bill Maher, and he's with a black girl. Hell yeah. And I was like, Bill Maher, you know, and you was like, yeah, okay, yeah. I was like,
It was Lola Falana's mom.
it was like,
I don't. Well, I love beauty, and also.
no, but I love that you was with a black girl. I was like, I knew he was fucking cool.
People. Now that you brought this up, people think that I have a thing. I have a thing for beautiful women.
Yeah, I think you like women.
Like Robert De Niro has a thing like
For black girls.
Right, like if you walk in a room, he would only be interested, which is fine, whatever floats your boat. I'm just saying, I'm not that guy. You know what
I told him, I was like, if
Right.
you'd have hated me.
I've never sought out one race.
You just sought out the beautiful girl in the room.
And also
You seem like that's
also
that
the
tracks,
ones
though.
I get along with tend to be like
The beautiful ones?
with the fun ones. Fun people are who I'm going to hang out with.
And they just happen to be beautiful ass women.
Well, I would say they more often turn out to be black people. White
I'm
people
just saying.
are just more uptight.
They are.
Okay, so
Let's tell them. You're white, tell them.
well, they know. They don't need me to tell them, and they don't really care. And so people party with who you want to be relaxed. This is what this whole thing is about.
Yeah, because I was like, this is a setup
Isn't
right
it
here.
a great room?
Well, yeah, it's that and kind of a nightmare, but like.
Why?
Well, I mean, this is the room that you don't want to be walked into at 9 o'clock at night.
Why?
I mean,
It's
if you don't know who's here, This
Well, you're here.
seems like a Playboy type
We're the
room.
only
Like, this
ones. We're the only
Seems
two.
like a porno
A porno.
happens somewhere in this area, just
No, it's
somewhere by the pool table, maybe.
there. I mean, you could shoot a porno in here. You're not wrong about that. But no.
I mean, this whole property is insane.
Well, to me, this is the crown jewel, is Club Random, and I am very happy to have you here.
I live right around the corner, by the way,
Where?
on Dale Grove, off of Coldwater.
Don't say. There'll be.
Right around the corner. So my friend was like, are you going to go to Bill Maher's house? I was like, he's going to wake up and go, I woke up to Leslie Jones yelling in my window. Do you have some weed?
I do, and I brought
Well,
it.
I brought weed too.
Oh, okay. So how long have you lived out here? I
was an LA person before I went to SNL. I lived in LA since 82.
Oh, okay. And what do you think of it?
What do I think about LA?
Yeah.
I fucking love LA. But
Oh,
when
good. Me
I was
too.
in New York, though, I used to have a hatred for it because I didn't live there. So every time I would come back here, I'd be like, it's like an ex-boyfriend that I don't get
Right.
along with, that we haven't settled that shit. But
Right.
I always wanted to be in LA. And when I got off SNL, I came straight back because I was just like...
That's funny. That's very reminiscent of my life because when I went off to do Politically Incorrect, my first show in the 90s, I had to live in
So
New York.
good.
Oh, thanks. I had to go.
Your show now is so fucking good.
Oh,
I love when you do that thing
yeah.
at the end, when
Yeah.
you go the fuck off.
right.
And I love when you just check the shit out of people. Like, I love it. It's one of my favorite
Thank
shows
you.
to watch because you really do go the fuck off. And it's just like, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, TV is almost all bullshit. So, I mean, I'm not going to participate in that party. and I never have.
But you
I
never,
mean,
I was just going to say, I don't remember you ever participating in the status quo.
the sign is right behind you. Politically incorrect.
Yeah.
That was the sign we had on the show. I brought it here. Yeah, it's the only thing I know how to do or want to do. It certainly causes you a lot of problems, as you know, because you're very much the same way. You don't pull any punches.
I'm
And
too old. I just feel
right.
like
People will come at you if you do that, but you know what? Your bond with the audience is so strong because they appreciate that. Even when sometimes they don't agree. When I started Politically Incorrect, they said you can't do a show like that where the host renders his opinion on controversial issues because half the audience will not. I'm like, let's give that a try.
let's give it a try and see.
I bet you, like in life, people can disagree with me and not hate me.
And not hate you.
And they don't.
That's what we are at the point of that we can't even conversate with each other.
Right. No,
We can't get anything solved because everybody wants to be right.
And everybody who you don't agree with is not just somebody I don't agree with, they're evil. They're bad people. You're a bad person.
Right.
And fuck that. That's what I'm always trying to fight against. And you have a drink?
I have this LaCroix, but what you about to drink
what
some? You about to drink some tequila?
Yes.
I like that.
I have. What do you drink?
I'm just drinking LaCroix. I don't really drink.
Liqueur. How
don't really
refined. I love that.
I don't drink unless I need to drink,
Yeah.
Is
well,
this like
I very rarely. I save my liquor
for when you really want to drink?
for like this. I could only have a few drinks a week, and so I save it for like Club Random.
People don't understand that when you get older, that is a real thing.
Well, otherwise you'll just look horrible.
You just look fucked up.
Yeah. Yes, especially me.
No, you look. I was
No,
going to tell
because
you look great.
but the whiter you are, the worse, because everything just shows up more.
Yeah.
It is a kind of a.
You see the bumps and bruises but you look great.
Thanks. But as I said in my last special, when people say you look great, there should be a chyron for your age, because because
See, I wasn't thinking. I'm 54, so I know.
54?
I'm 54.
Wow, I didn't think you were over 50.
Well, thank
Wow.
you. I appreciate it.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I feel 37 today, though.
And how much weed do you smoke?
Oh, a lot. And I've never, that's one thing I've never hid. I've never hidden.
Why should you?
Well, I'm thinking back in the day, you probably couldn't say that you smoked weed or whatever, but I'm a grown ass
Well,
woman.
you couldn't say it to TSA.
Right.
But, but you could say it.
I just never, ever, that's not something I've ever hidden. So whenever people find out I smoke, I go, yeah, I never kept that a secret.
It's almost more rare not to smoke. Obviously there are people who don't smoke, but it's at the point now where I don't even think about it when I travel with the small amount I do. I used to worry and be very paranoid because first, no states had it legal or even medical. Then it was some states medical. I'd be like, okay, I can go to this state if I have this letter from.
Yeah, I got away in an airport. They had, and it was, you know how they used to put it in the medicine bottles. So I think I had it in a bag or something. And they was like, yeah, you got this. And I pulled out my medical card, and it was like, well, you can't smoke it on the plane. I was like, I'm not gonna smoke it on the fucking plane. But they gave it back to me, and I got it.
I would never put it someplace like that. Mine was so hidden underneath in my underwear. It was like it was.
And that's why I was surprised when they found that, because I usually hide mine too. But I think I was feeling myself that day.
Well, probably they were feeling you too in the security.
Because I got caught in Canada with weed before.
In the security line. What? Oh.
On my birthday, cause
Oh.
No, dude, the day before 9/11.
Oh my God.
The day before 9/11, dude, I got caught with weed in Canada.
Boy, if that doesn't put weed into perspective, can you imagine holding somebody on 9/11 like, you're a lawbreaker and we can't allow this society to, they just knocked down 4 buildings.
Literally, it was, because I remember they fined me, because they was like, it was only a small amount, so they fined me and they took all my money I had made in Canada. And I was like, all right, well, I went home broke. I think I went home with $100. But I was like, okay, at least I get to go home.
So were you doing stand-up
I
in
was doing
Canada?
stand-up in Canada.
Oh.
Kenny Robinson, I want to say it's Kenny Robinson.
What year is this? This is 2001, if
This
it's
is
9/11,
maybe
right?
like, yeah.
So were you well into your stand-up
Oh,
career
yeah,
by
I've been
then?
doing it for at least 20-some years then. I've been doing it for a while.
That's 20 years. It's 20 years ago.
Jesus.
When did you start stand-up?
87.
Oh, 87. Oh, well, sweetheart, I hate to tell you, but you've been doing it for 35 years.
Yeah.
I know.
Seems
Well,
like
that's not that
It
far
doesn't
from
seem
when
like-
I started.
Doesn't sound like it's a long time, but it
No.
is.
I mean, I can't believe I've been doing it over 40. You know, it's like, because when you say that, all you could think of, I can anyway, is like when I was a kid watching TV, and there'd be like the old comics on TV, George Burns, you know, Dan, who never, none of them did I think were funny.
But do you think they're funny now, though?
No.
You
Well,
don't.
some of not George Burns.
Really?
He's funny.
Okay, no, not even
Like
just give him the
actual
funny, not
funny-
give him the funny, give him the credit for the joke writing or the performing.
I mean, sure.
Right?
Well, he was obviously a charming, nice man, and he was trading on a affection that the audience had for him because, like, okay, so if I'm watching in the 70s and 80s, these are audience members who are older than me mostly, and they remember him from radio,
Right.
and from Gracie Allen, from that shit, you know,
So they're
George and
keeping
Grace.
that,
Well, yeah, I mean, that was when he was in his
2000.
prime, and I think he was probably the show with Gracie, who was his wife, his real wife, right? And she played dumb. You know, the old saying, you have to be smart to play dumb. But she played like because in the 50s, every woman had to be dumb. That was like the cliche they fed into. So she was the dummy, and I guess he was the exasperated husband. I don't know. I'm sure I'd fucking not like it now.
Right.
I
Right.
fucking like it then.
Right. But
It's
as a stand-up, you don't think that was...
Well, I just think times change, audiences change, eras change. This is why I'm always up the ass of the woke people who want to get a time machine and put their standards on fucking Columbus or something. It's like, shut the fuck up. You know what? Whenever you live, you would have been the same asshole. You wouldn't have known
You'd had as much information as they did.
and thought the same way.
You're speaking from a different type of perspective.
So I don't
like
when I watch 50s, like there was another show in the 50s, Your Show of Shows, Sid Caesar. Did you ever hear of that?
Caesar.
Okay, yeah. Another oldie when we were young, who the audience remembered fondly. He was the biggest star in the 50s. Like his Show of Shows was all the like great writers who wrote on that show became huge stars. The writing room was Woody Allen, Carl Reiner, Mel Brooks, and I'm leaving some out, but like this amazing murderer's row of writers who were his writers. That was the writer's room, like we all know, writers'
No
rooms.
wonder he was killing.
He was killing that. I saw Showtime made a movie of it years ago called 10 from Your Show of Shows, like their 10 best sketches. I mean, my view was I could swallow a can of Kodak and puke up a better movie. Just because it was that, first of all, it was right after the war, right? This is when the show was on. The audience was just like giddy because the fucking war was over. They were like ready to laugh at anything.
Anything.
And they did,
was just
because
happy.
this shit sucked, in my view. I mean, that's...
No, but the only thing that I give up for it is because at the time was you were able to do comedy. Comedy was living like. If tell me any other comics that were doing comedy at the time that they was doing comics. Like, tell me all the black comics that was doing comedy when Sid Caesar was on. Like, was it Bill Cosby? Was it Red Fox? Was it
Bill Cosby certainly overlapped because he was 60s. You know, Bill Cosby was a big star. Bill Cosby had, I mean, before The Unpleasantness came out, you know, Bill Cosby had an amazing career that had different eras that all were quite amazing, and he was quite the revolutionary at times.
I saw
It's
it.
a shame
I
that
saw the whole, and I was just like, it's a damn shame.
Oh, it is. Because it's also not like he was great and then he became this pervert and this horrible monster. He was always the horrible monster at the same
because
time.
that's what skews everything for me now is when I see it, I go, well, fuck, was like all these wonderful I used to be a fucking Bill Cosby head. Let's do it again. I was gonna when I made it, I was gonna redo Let's Do It Again. I was gonna do Uptown Saturday Night. I was gonna redo all these movies. And now when I look at them, I go, how many girls was in danger on that set?
Oh yeah.
Did he fuck Denise
All of
Nichols?
them.
Did he?
Everybody.
Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like
Everybody. He was
like did Sidney Poitier know?
He was really an insane person.
Do you think Sidney Poitier knew?
Sidney Poitier on what movie was that?
It's Uptown Saturday Night. Let's Do It Again. He
Mother,
did like,
Jugs, and Speed.
it's a lot. Yeah, I mean, he did like 3 or 4 movies with Sidney.
I mean, it's in the title. That's not a very good title. Mother, Jugs, and Speed. But okay. Well, I must say, I never liked Bill Cosby as a comedian.
Really?
No.
I
never thought he was.
I respected him as a
thought
comedian.
He was funny.
I didn't.
I
The
thought-
Clean. I thought the Dad is Great will always be the one that I remember him. Dad is Great. He gave us the chocolate cake.
No.
That is the only thing that I will always remember. But a Cosby Show was my shit. I have to say it was my shit.
No, didn't like
You
that.
know, and all of his movies. I loved all of his movies.
Never liked him in any form, really, except I Spy. He was so cool in that. And as himself, as a talk show guest, I liked him.
What? But every time I look at any of that now, I go,
I thought he was
all
corny.
the girls
But do you remember?
were in danger.
Oh, yes. Well, they were. We are supported by Signalwire. Remember all those futuristic movies where they had flying cars and crime prediction software and super hot love robots? Well, it's halfway through 2022. The future is officially here, and I'm still waiting to fall in love with a robot. You know what else I'm waiting on? Video chat apps that work reliably in all network conditions or that don't slow down or crash our devices. That's where Signalwire comes in. Signalwire is an advanced cloud platform for building the communications applications of the future. With Signalwire, you can create any real-time communication app with far better audio and video quality that actually uses less bandwidth and doesn't slow down your users' devices. And with Signalwire, you can completely customize the user experience and integrate it within an existing application or website with ease. Most importantly, Signalwire makes it easy to figure out. Whether you're a developer, product builder, or just someone with a cool idea, Signalwire offers APIs, SDKs, and even copy and paste code snippets to help you make your vision a reality fast. Visit signalwire.com/random to sign up for a free account or book a demo. Get an additional 5,000 video minutes for testing. Go to signalwire.com/random and build the future of real-time communications. Go to signalwire.com/random today. The wait is almost over. Football season is about to start, which means you won't have to talk to your spouse until February. Kidding. Get ready for the NFL Week 1 action with Draftkings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To celebrate the return of football, Draftkings is giving new customers a can't-miss offer. Bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action for opening night? Everyone can experience the thrill of Draftkings early win promotion. Get up 7 points, you win. Bet on any NFL team of your choice, and if your team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. Hear that, Giants fans? DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code RANDOM to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code RANDOM, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Do you remember Flip Wilson?
Do I?
Now, Flip Wilson I liked a lot. He had his
Flip was one of the funniest motherfuckers.
And I
See,
thought
Geraldine was fucking perfection.
Right.
So when you talk about
yeah.
men dressing up like women, because, you know, people have that little conflict with that, which I think you're a genius if you can do it and pull it off right. He was the one that pulled off that in a way that I don't think no one has ever been able to come off like that. Fucking
You
Geraldine.
mean drag?
Yes, I love Geraldine. I loved her.
But yes, I mean that character, and wasn't he Here Come the Judge?
Yeah, yeah. And then
Okay,
you remember he had Flip Wilson had a show. You
but that's
remember?
what I just said. He had his own show. He also would come on the Tonight Show and do stand up, and it wasn't like joke, joke, joke. I remember seeing him. Oh, it's too bad we're not the kind of show that can just then dial this up from the archives and show you the clip, but maybe other people can. It was the day maybe after they landed on the moon in 1969. And he did a thing, he must have written it like that day or something. And it was just this monologue of, I think, as I recall, like a family talking to each other about it, that moon, that kind of stuff. And it was like, I remember being blown away because it was just,
They were patient.
the audience was more patient,
No,
correct.
the comedians were patient.
Well, because, what do you mean patient?
The timing.
Yes.
I mean, to be able to tell a story like
Yes.
that and, have the patience.
But again, you couldn't get away with it today because the audience is less patient.
Absolutely.
The audience had more of an attention span. That's one reason why when I watch this old stuff, I'm like, come on, get to it. Because even I'm young enough to be like, oh, please.
I know what this punchline is going to be.
Well, and also it's just taking you too long to get there.
Yeah.
Give me the,
Yeah.
I need my fix,
Yeah. Yeah.
But Flip Wilson was amazing.
Now, did he write with anyone?
I thought he was, I have no idea, but
I wonder if he wrote with anyone.
I just thought he was hip in a way Cosby wasn't, and just cool. I don't know. It was like, I didn't want to be Bill Cosby, but
You wanted to be Flip
Well,
Wilson.
Flip Wilson, yeah, I mean, I knew I wanted to be a comedian when I was like 8.
Right.
I mean, I never, ever had a part of my life where I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Whereas I meet kids, they're like 25, they don't know what the fuck to do.
Right.
I always knew. You always the same way? No?
I had no clue until, you see that spider?
A spider.
I had no clue until I actually walked on the stage and touched the mic.
When was that?
In college. I was, it was 1987. And my friend signed me up for a contest in college. And as soon as I touched the mic, it was almost like I can see my life.
Wow.
It's just almost like I had been doing it already 10 years. Like it
amazing?
felt like home. I immediately knew I was going to be a comic.
Had you written stuff?
No, and what was so scary?
You mean you went on with no...
I went on and talked about...
Not knowing what you were going to say?
I just imitated I imitated Richard Pryor. No, I imitated Eddie Murphy, actually, because I was like, this is what Richard Pryor or Eddie Murphy would do.
Wow.
And I talked about my uncle. I talked about white and black churches. And and then I talked about my grandmother, because my grandmother had real big breasts. And that joke right now would work today. Because it was a story, because it was a true story.
But you didn't plan this out at all?
None of it.
Come on, you didn't even say, okay, I'm going to talk about churches.
I sat down when she told me. I was like, because I'm a Virgo, you got to be organized. I sat down and I was like, okay, if I'm going to do jokes, okay.
Who told you?
My friend, when she told me, she signed me up for the contest.
Oh, a friend signed you up?
She signed me up for the contest, my friend in college.
Wow.
And I was always funny.
Because they saw you.
I was always funny, but I just didn't think I was funny. I just thought that I was imitating funny people.
You need people like that in your life,
Oh my
especially
God.
because you don't know. I mean, even though I always knew I wanted to be a comedian, I was too shy and not confident nearly enough to say that to people because I thought they would laugh at me like, oh, please.
Yeah.
You want to be a comedian. Great. I want to be an astronaut,
Right.
that kind of thing. So I just never, ever said anything. But when I was in high school, the English teacher, who now that I look back, I realize was very gay. But at the time, I was we were very sheltered where I grew up in my little suburban enclave there. And it just never really crossed my mind. I never thought about it, yes or no. I mean, now they'd have drag queen story hour when I was 8. But, back then I was not aware of these kind of things. I knew what homosexuality was by that point, I'm sure, but it just never crossed my mind. Now I look back and I'm thinking, oh, of course, this erudite, elegant gay man had the sense to recognize in me.
And what did he say?
He suggested I be the MC of what I guess every year they had what they called the pop show, although after me, they did not, because I stole a lot of jokes from Johnny Carson, which was late night, sophisticated television, and it was way too risque for the audience, which laughed. I think I remember at the time, but like there was all complaints from a lot of the girls' fathers after, because I had said things that Johnny Carson said, you know. So yeah, but that was the first time I got on stage. It was high school, and it was emceeing. It's kind of what I've always been doing and wanted to do. But I don't know how it would have gone if that teacher hadn't
told you.
had, you know,
You still
the
would have
first
found your
person
way
who
there.
independently, because again, I never said to somebody, I want to do this. He saw it in me. So it was like, okay, I'm not crazy. Somebody else sees this. That wasn't my plan, but that's how it shook out in my mind.
For me, it was more of like, oh, I was funny? Oh, I thought that I was saying funny stuff, but I didn't know people actually was laughing at what I said. And for her to be like, yo, no, like you're funny, like you need to get on
Yes.
stage. And when I got on stage, I'm telling you, it just felt like all of it came, it was like poop, 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 poop. And I was like, oh, shit. Oh, a comedian. I'm gonna be a comedian. Cause I always used to be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna be an actress that's gonna play Whoopi Goldberg. That's what I thought.
Well, you know, there are people who I feel like are just born to be comedians or sometimes actors, singers. There's lots of people in show business who just want to be in show business. And of course, the thing about show business is you can be in show business if you really insist.
If you insist on it.
You don't really need to have a
Listen,
lot of talent to be somewhere.
And we have seen that.
And we have seen it many times. If you really insist, I insist, I will be in show business and must be, you can work. You just can't reach the top echelons. But then there are people, and whenever I saw you, I thought, oh yeah, that girl, she is doing what she is supposed to be doing, and really nothing else would be the right thing for her to do, because
I think I would have been a basketball coach.
well,
I was-
but you were one of those SNL players who, the second you walked on stage, all the eyes went to you, as they should. You know, you just owned it.
It was-
and you never looked, from the beginning, you never looked the least bit worried about how it would turn out. You never looked freaked out. You never
the
looked...
update desk is what the update desk. When they put me on the update desk, I remember Bobby Lee saying this to me. He was like, "If they put your ass in front of the camera, it's over." And they were talking about putting me in front of the camera, meaning that if you get in front of it, they hired me as a writer. They didn't hire me as a cast member first.
Oh, I didn't know
I was
that.
a writer.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I came out and auditioned with a bunch of people, but they just asked me to stay as a writer.
Huh.
So they had been talking about me being on the update desk, but Bobby was like, if they put you in front of that camera, it's fucking over. And when they gave me that update, the update was just like doing stand-up, but just sitting down. I was like, got this shit. That's easy. You want me to do this? This is like fucking taking candy from a baby. You know, the first update, they was like, you were nervous. And I was like, bitch, I just was doing stand-up. I was just sitting down.
What was the bit you did?
It was a joke that I had been doing for 6 years.
Oh, yeah. That is
and
easy.
It literally was about, all our jokes is from my life. I wrote this joke 10 years before I started actually doing it. I went on a bad date. And this is real talk. I went on a bad date. I came home and I was in the middle of the floor. And I remember I was eating cold spaghetti. And I was like, this is a goddamn shame. Because if I was a fucking slave, I would have all the best men. They would try to breed me. Yeah. I would have Denzel, I have Shaquille, I have all the fine motherfuckers. And every 9 months I would be giving them a fucking breed, baby.
Wow.
I just remember that coming to my head, and I was like, I can't even get a fucking quality brother. And I'm the best thing on the fucking plantation. And I just remember saying, that'll be funny, one day when you're talented enough to do that joke. And then I started doing it. And I think the way that I started doing it was just funny when I would do it. And they called me in the room and see, Spider? They called me in the room.
Yes.
And you gonna kill it?
Well,
it didn't do nothing to you.
Okay, you're right.
And it might be killing like other ants or something. That bug did not come out to be killed today. It was just like,
That's not the kind that I like. There are certain spiders.
is that a black widow one?
Well,
It's black
I have
widowy.
no idea, but it's anyway. Go on with your story. Don't let the spider get in the way of our fun.
Oh my God. No, they called me in the room and I had two jokes. I had this joke about texting. I had this joke about over texting, and I called it the slave joke. It's what I called it. I called it the slave joke. And they was like, well, we want you to do an update on the texting and the slave joke. And I was like, those are two different jokes. I was like, so it's one or the other. I was like, those don't go together, so you have to pick one or the other. And they was like, and I was like, yeah, y'all want me to do a slave joke? And they was like, yeah, but they didn't want to say it. So I was like, it's a good joke. Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. So we wrote it.
It's a ballsy one.
It is.
I mean,
it's not even that it's so ballsy as much as you got to be talented to perform it.
Well,
because when I would do it, it was just as simple as that. It was just like if I was on the fucking plantation, I would have the best. I would be recruited. I think I would be the number one slave draft pick.
But I mean, that SNL audience is a really liberal woke audience. So like, even a black person doing that joke, you have to understand, white people, especially the liberal ones in places like New York and LA, they have a kink of self-loathing. So you mention plantation, and they right away are like, oh my God. I'm like, I always want to say to them, you didn't do it.
You didn't do it. I mean, it's like.
But I could see an audience freezing at that because it's just too.
Oh my God. I would do it in LA.
I'm talking about the white people.
Everywhere
the black
in
people
LA
would be fine with it because it's funny.
The black people would get mad at me. No, I'll tell you this. Listen.
They would?
When I do that joke, I would do that in white clubs. I'm telling you, that shit would, rush. Because I would come out, I was like, I'm the number one. I'm the number one slave draft pick. I'm going to Arkansas, Nebraska trying to get me. It was just like, the whole joke was an intricate thing.
In LA?
In LA, I would do it at the parlor all the time, at Jay Davis show, all the time. It would rip, because it was a genius joke. That's the joke that Chris saw me doing at the Comedy Store when he told me the SNL about
and you're saying black audiences got mad at it?
Well, black audiences, when you do it in a club, people laugh. But when I did it as an update, white people thought it was hilarious. Black people, oh my God. Well, you was up there talking about it's okay for a girl to be breeded. And I was like, oh my God, are you listening to the fucking joke? Like that show you not listening to the joke. I remember one time I did this club and I was ripping. I ripped this club, and this black guy comes up to me. He was like, he was like, damn, you was so much funnier than I thought. I wasn't really a fan because, you called black women niggas on SNL. What? The fuck are you talking about? And this is what pisses me off about stuff like that. It's like, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. So I said, where did I say it? He was like, you said it, and I was like, show me where I said it. Show me, pull it up, and pull out the part where you saw me say that. I said, that right there, you going off of misinformation, off of something you didn't even go and fucking research and see if I said it. No, I didn't call black women niggas. I said that if I was on a plantation, I would be breeded because I am a Mandingo, and I would have all the best men that come. That's what I said. The fuck, like, and what pissed me off, I told people, I said, if the joke is so fucking genius, you should be proud that I even wrote a joke like that. I mean, it's just not a dick joke, is it?
No.
What you expect, right? You expect a fucking dick joke.
I'm still so surprised.
Oh my God, when I say I had bitches from Essence come out, I mean, I had so much shit. And it made me so disgusted because I go, do you know how fucking hard I would have did that? I've done that joke a billion times in all kinds of blacks and white, and now you get mad? Is it because I took it outside of what, like, you're surprised to see a black woman be smarter than what the fuck that you see some of these other women do? Oh, I'm so sorry that I'm not just talking about dick.
Or how the shower doesn't get in your pussy.
And who does that shit? Oh, that's the most oh my God. When I first started, my goal was to write better dick jokes than men. I remember the
What, that
first
was
time
your
I did.
goal?
Oh my God, I was so good. I was so good. I remember TK Kirkland coming up to me one time going, "Women ain't supposed to talk like that. You can't be talking about dick." And I said, "You talk about pussy and you don't have no pussy. I got a pussy. Why would I not talk about it?" And I said, "And I bet you I know more about your dick than you do."
We are supported by Wine Enthusiast. Summer is winding down, but the days are still hot and sunny. And if this climate keeps going the way it is, soon it will be summer all year round, which makes it even more important to properly store your wine. Now's the time to get those wine bottles out of boxes or off your countertops and protect them with a wine fridge from Wine Enthusiast. Wine Enthusiast designs and offers the largest selection of wine coolers for every drinker, every budget and every size collection up to 600 bottles. Plus, expert wine storage consultants are available by phone to help you find the right fit for all your needs. Wine Enthusiast is the premier destination for the wine lifestyle, offering an incredible selection of unique wine accessories, glassware, furniture, wine storage, gifts, and more. Here at Club Random, our guests have been drinking from this awesome custom Club Random logo glassware that Wine Enthusiast sent us. Visit wineenthusiast.com or text the code RANDOM to 511-511. And from now until Labor Day, save during Wine Enthusiast's Labor Day sale. Save up to 25% on wine cellars and fine furniture now through Labor Day. Text RANDOM to 511-511. Text RANDOM to 511-511 today. Certain exclusions may apply. You may receive up to one additional text. Message and data rates may apply. Text stopped to opt out.
You know, when I started comedy, I had already met crackheads and hoes and pimps and drug dealers. So when I got into comedy and these motherfuckers would try to be gangster, I would just, floor them.
Who would try to be gangster?
Oh my God, any motherfucker I stepped to. And when I got into the game.
Well, who are we talking about, though?
We talking about
is there
just
another comic?
Yeah, you know. And
like who?
It was so funny because you'd be like, "You're not a gangster."
Wait, so you're saying the comics were trying to act hard?
It was so hilarious. And I'm like, I'm from Compton. I literally just saw someone get shot. And you are telling a knock-knock joke. There's nothing scary about you, motherfucker. And when I started,
but you're not looking for a scary guy, are you?
No, it's not that. It's just that they would do the women like that. They was trying to always intimidate the women. That's what I should have started with. Because they would always be like, "If you go on the road with me, you gotta sleep with me." And I was just like, I wouldn't.
Whoa.
I wouldn't fuck.
Oh, let's back up to that.
I wouldn't fuck you with my enemy's pussy. Right. And I hated that bitch. Do you understand how much I hated that bitch? And I still wouldn't let you fuck her.
But that's what comics say nowadays?
Not now. They don't do it now.
But I mean, that was a thing to say to the female comic, you go on the road.
Are you fucking?
Really?
Are you fucking?
Wow.
Are you fucking?
That bald. No tread on that tire, you're saying. Just, are you fucking?
Are you fucking? And I was fine when I started. Like, I was fine as fuck. So I'm not gonna mention the names, but a lot of motherfuckers came at me.
And women went for this also?
Some did. Some did. Some, some did because they maybe felt like they had to. And some women was doing that too. You fucking, you coming on the road with me. I mean, it's what it was. I just was like, none of you bitches could ever even, ew.
Right. Right. It's so interesting.
Oh, it's just, I think we could have some war stories like a motherfucker.
Well, I mean, I don't have war stories like that, and that's, something I've been lucky about. I mean, life is a complex mixture of advantages and disadvantages, for sure. That is one thing I've been lucky for. I didn't have to be coerced to go on the road to give up my sexuality, and I would have happily, because I certainly wasn't getting any from anybody in those days. I would love it if somebody had said, "Are you fucking?" Because the answer was no.
You'd be like, "Nah, like I'm not you." Like,
well,
oh man, you wouldn't believe some of the shit women have to put up with.
Oh, here's an interesting story, or maybe not. It's certainly anecdotal. Let me just start and just put the big headline on it. It's anecdotal. It's one person, but it is a real story. A woman I know, now late 20s, went into the Navy in 2017, very attractive. Yes, African American. What? You're looking at me like
I'm like, oh, how's the story gonna end?
not badly.
Okay.
But when she was about to get out, or close, it was like a year away or something. I said, "Well, now that you could see the end, tell me about." We were catching up, I said, "Tell me about your experience," and we were talking about the Navy, like some really hairy things, like fucking sleeping on the beach in Saudi Arabia. When they deploy, they fucking make them sleep on the beach. You think that spider was big? Said there were spiders this fucking big on the beach in Saudi Arabia. But I guess we were.
Oh, would not sleep.
I guess we were guarding the oil. I don't know what we were doing,
Oh
but
my God.
I'm just saying, America spends like so many zillions of dollars for the military to do all sorts of things which are unnecessary. But it's who we are. Okay. Anyway, so I said, and got her. I said, and what about racism? Where was that on the scale in your time in the Navy? Again, this is one person. I said, was it, on the scale of 1 to 10? And she said, I personally never really saw racism in the Navy, but sexual harassment was every day.
And that must have been hard being on a boat with them motherfuckers.
Right. Again, anecdotal. I'm sure someone else could say something else, and I'm sure there is still racism aplenty in not just the military, but
micro.
Yes, everywhere in society, still something that we should
This is the thing.
But it's so interesting
that y'all don't
we
get
are
it.
kind of mono-focused on that. And very often the thing that fucks up in her case, it wasn't racism that made
sexual harassment.
Her sexual harassment.
I mean, can you imagine being around a bunch of men? Like
right.
And
men who are young, who grew up in a kind of I'm not saying, again, that racism still isn't there, but if you're a 20-year-old guy, it's like racism is not a cool thing.
It's not cool
anymore.
But
the way it was,
with bitches is.
No, and it's certainly too acceptable in too many places and with too many people. But yeah, I can see how 22-year-old guys on the ship, even the white ones, weren't like
scary.
That wasn't their idea.
But that's more scary than I would rather for them to be racist than to be sexually. Well, when I was young though, I was such a different. I had that such masculine shit. I knew how to handle dudes like that. But see, just even saying that shows you how dangerous it is because I learned how to handle that. Like I remember being
you need a very strong man because you're a strong woman.
Yeah,
and funny. Men are
He don't even have to be funny. I really want.
But you are.
I want him to be corny.
You are funny.
Yes.
So that's intimidating to a lot of men.
And now I was laughing because I told everybody when I was on my way over here, I was like, Bill Maher is going to find my boyfriend.
I could.
I think that you exactly know.
I certainly could pick him out in a lineup of who isn't going to.
He will be in the lineup for sure. I like him tough.
That's
baby.
a scream. That's a great joke. But of who is not up to par, because I could eliminate like 5 of the 7 contestants immediately because I just know.
So can I. Yeah. Fucking eliminate
I just know
that
they would not be strong enough for you.
It's not even about strong enough. It's about being intelligent and having.
That
being
too.
a real person.
Well, that too.
Just a real person.
But also, you want. I'm getting in trouble for this, but
say it.
I will. Believe me. No, well, that too. But
it has to be. I'm 6 feet tall.
That would be part of what I was going for, which is like
I think bullshit.
No matter how strong a woman is, it probably feels good at a certain
when we're
point.
Fucking taken, just thrown around.
Oh, thank you for saying it for me.
Slapped me around a couple. Not slap, but
grab
not
literally. We don't.
No.
This is
let's turn into something else.
It's like the old days of TV when the screen just goes to this
or that little beat-back.
Exactly. This is a warning system. Okay.
Oh my God.
We're just saying that. At the height of passion, men. Right, at the height of passion, if a guy is not passing out some weak shit, he's going to make you feel a way, perhaps, that feels good and is not what you're normally used to, being so like in control and the strong one and the smart one.
I am completely
You
submissive
know,
when the door closes.
there you go. You know the phrase,
Completely submissive when the
fuck your
door
brains
closes.
out?
I'm telling you, I
It's
had
a real
a
thing.
4-year booty call with an Israeli, and he
It's-
knew exactly what to do.
Is that right?
Oh my God, I love Israelis.
And what are you,
They
Meshuggah, not still with
they
him?
smell good, and they fuck like black men. I love them.
Why, where did he go? What happened?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he got deported at some point. Somebody snitched
So
on him.
you don't even know?
Somebody snitched
What,
on
you
that
were
dude.
so intimate with this guy for so long?
Nah, man. This SNL saved my life from this dude. I had to start. I stalked him at the same time we fucked. We was fucking at the same time I was stalking him.
But what happened to him?
He just
what happened to the
probably went back to Israel.
But you don't know? This seems like a
Why
relation.
would I need to know? Fuck him. He needed to be out of my life.
Oh, so he was,
It was
a
bad.
toxic,
Oh, it was toxic as fuck.
but the sex was good.
The sex was fucking incredible.
Right. It's very hard. I have a saying
It's like, why is it like that?
between me, and that is water rolls downhill. And what I mean when I say that is like, you can try to be this kind of person and this kind of person and like this kind of thing and this kind of thing, but at the end of the day, water rolls downhill. It's going to roll, and with me, it's going to roll to what I like, and I don't want to apologize for it.
I just started doing
and what I
that.
like is not going to be an age-appropriate librarian. It's just not. Water rolls downhill.
I literally just started telling myself that. Stop telling yourself that you're gonna be accepting when the dude shows up and he has a small fucking dick and he can't fuck.
Right. That's.
I mean, I've even had dudes that had small dicks that can fuck.
It doesn't matter. Here's my analogy with why basketball is like a great lover. Because to be a great basketball player, an elite basketball player, you have to have three things. But you have to have all three.
Okay.
You have to have an incredible passion for the game. Now, if you have the high basketball IQ, then you're going to be in that stratosphere with, Michael Jordan and LeBron and blah, blah, blah. Okay. But you can be just a really elite player if you just are a gym rat and you just badly want to be great. Then you have to have skills. You just have to have skills. You have to shoot. You can't.
Fundamentals. You at least have to have fundamentals.
Well, yeah. Well, to be an elite player, skills. Past fundamentals. Fundamentals, I can see on Venice Boulevard.
Right. Okay.
You have to have skills. You have to know how to fucking execute a reverse layup without thinking about it, okay?
Being able to
And the
fake out
third
and
thing
jump.
you have to have, which is my analogy with lovemaking, which would be you have to be the passion for it. You have to really love doing it. You have to not just want to come.
Exactly.
You don't want to make her come. Okay,
It's not
that's
good
one.
unless-
And then you have to have skills, which takes time to develop. But yes, you can have skills. The third thing, if you're a basketball player, what's the third thing you have to be? You have the passion, you have the skills. What else do you need?
Passion.
Height! Height! As the coaches say, you can't teach height. You cannot be a great basketball player. You cannot be an elite Wait, let me finish.
You can't be an elite
Cannot
one.
be
You can be a good one.
an elite
but
player.
you can't be an elite player.
Even the guards are like 6'6". Okay, there's been the occasional Muggsy Bogues, but they don't last long. There are too liability on defense. You have to be tall as well as passionate and skilled. And it's the same with lovemaking. You have to have a certain tallness where it counts, or you can't be on the great level.
I feel like the size fits the person. So a short person can do it. I'm 6 feet tall.
But it actually doesn't. Tall.
I'm 6 feet tall.
You can be tall and have a small dick.
No, I know, but I'm saying that dick though might fit a shorter girl, and she might cool. I have no girls who like small dicks. Me, I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm rough. You gotta have some girth, motherfuckers. Have some girth.
In such a lovely way, though.
In such a lovely way, right?
Such a lovely way.
Such a fucking lovely way.
Absolutely. When you used to do that thing on the show with, I can't remember his name, but you...
Colin?
What?
Colin?
No, the other one. You pretended to be boyfriend, girlfriend.
Oh, Mikey Day?
No, I don't think that's him. Around the office. He either had a crush on you.
Oh, Kyle.
Yes. Yes, you ran that bit back more than a few times, right?
Those were the most
What?
torturous pre-tapes. I don't think I started like account until
But
the last
it
year, but
cracked me the
it
fuck up
it cracked everybody up,
because
and I
it
never
just.
understood why everybody
Well,
thought that shit was
can I
so
explain
funny.
it? Can I explain why it's
Yes,
so funny? I think is because of what we were just talking about. Because he just seemed like the last guy in the world
right,
who could ever satisfy
right.
the great Leslie Jones.
I know.
That's what.
I was like,
That's
because I
what
was like, wait,
killed
what's so
me about it.
funny?
It's
This is
like,
not funny. And we would do stuff, and people would be
no, it
like, "You
was.
are literally the best actor." I was like,
It
I
was.
don't fucking
That's
get it.
why. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Oh my
Is
god.
that that guy? It's like the old joke about the the mouse who's fucking the elephant. You know,
How the fuck is that even possible?
tight, huh? But it's just it's just ridiculous. But yeah, you did a lot of great stuff. So why you didn't want to do it you didn't want to keep going with
Nah,
that
man.
show?
You know when
That's a
I
burnout show.
oh man,
That's a
100 hours.
burnout
That's
show.
just that's not only physically and mentally hard on you.
Right.
It's 100 hours a week.
Right.
It's two jobs.
It's almost
You
like
become a beast afterwards. But when I started that, I knew because if I started in my 20s, hell yeah, I'd probably
now
did
that's
10
almost
seasons.
like there are government jobs
Yeah.
like chief of staff that people only last 2 years, even
Yeah.
though it's a 4-year term usually. Some last the whole time, but it is so demanding
It's
that
very
you can only do it for a certain amount of years. And I feel like, just from what I know from the grapevine, that show is kind of like that. It's
that
so
show is
demanding.
very
It's
like
a
that.
little like a hitch in the
And
military.
you gotta be
Right.
like, man, you gotta be fucking strong. And that, I mean, you gotta be strong. It makes you a beast, though. It makes you a beast, but man, fuck that. And then living in New York, too. Now, maybe if we did it in LA, it
Right.
might feel a little better. But
Right.
having to deal with New York
I never.
and do
Yeah.
that show, whoo, it's
That's again so
that shit was
so
hard.
parallel to my experience, because when I was in New York to do Politically Incorrect, I was not a happy boy, because look, I grew up as the suburbs in New York. My father worked in New York every day. I went to the city as a kid with the family whenever, whatever. When I moved there after college, it's like it just never agreed with me. I grew up in the suburbs. I like the suburbs. Like
Yeah,
here,
I mean,
I
New York
like
is a fucking hard
I don't
city.
like living in a building and
It's a hard.
it's hard. And I did not get along with the women. That was the main
Well, I'm
reason.
gonna be honest. Yeah, the bitches they could be bitches.
It was
Women
like
are hardcore out there.
it's like, you know what?
You have to be
If
though.
I
The city is
if I
hard.
if I may extend the basketball analogy,
Okay, here we
women
go.
in New York, no layups. It was always playoff defense. Like, you go into the lane and you are gonna get fucking swatted at it. Let me
You
tell
gonna get a
it
couple of block
was
shots.
it was Jordan rules.
Yeah,
That's what I
well,
felt.
you
There
have
was
to,
like no
and
really
I'm to hear that. I'm just
no
like, oh
easy
wow.
ones.
So
None.
they're just very hardcore.
I
Because
just
the city makes them that way.
right. I always say that it's a kind of a vicious cycle, because I have heard the tales from women of what guys do, and they're very aggressive. It's the guy on the sidewalk. Hey, how you doing?
Well,
How you doing? Hey,
first of
give me
all-
a smile. What are you, too good to smile? Hey, smile at me. Hey,
Well, you
hey,
know
give me a
what?
smile, lady. Smile.
Also, people don't give credit to the city itself. Just living in New York, it's hard walking.
Oh, I agree.
The weather,
The weather.
dirtiness,
Yes,
trains.
right.
It's hard living there. Period.
And
to
too
live
crowded.
in the city, that shit makes you a hardcore
Right,
motherfucker
exactly.
already. So the women you seeing is just surviving winter like
Right.
a motherfucker. So that's what I would always say. I was like, the men there. I couldn't get with the men there. It was just so many different groups of men, and they
Right.
just all were fucking weird, and none of them really liked me. I mean, when I came out here to California, I got laid more in 1 year than I did in the whole 6 years that I was in New York.
That's what I say. It's amazing that you and I have this parallel. Well, you'd think it would be so the opposite.
I thought I was gonna get all kinds of men when I started SNL. I thought I was gonna get all kinds of men. Nothing.
Really?
And I would stand by and
No.
watch them other bitch ass men
No.
get women. You be like, you are a fucking idiot. Why do
Right.
they like you? You're an idiot.
You know what? You just either vibe with a certain city or you don't. There are certain cities I've known as a comic, you must know the same thing, traveling the country. You
Yeah,
just
even the way they
vibe.
handle weed. Oh my God, the way they handle weed, like they never ever heard of weed. It's like when I would smoke, oh my God, the lady next door would complain and I'd be like, bitch, I'm not the only person smoking on this floor. And fuck, why the fuck you care? There's a bitch cooking curry across the fucking hallway. You don't smell the fucking curry? Like, bitch, as if curry's still coming in my fucking apartment, I'm gonna smoke whatever the fuck I want.
Oh, you made me drop the
I'm
joint.
sorry,
You
Mick.
funny bitch.
You know it's
That
true.
is so true, though. Curry, right? Is it? I
There was
mean,
no time that I didn't
this
come.
is
I lived in
no
Harlem when I
disrespect
first
to the
moved.
wonderful
No,
Indian people.
no, it was
I can
yo. I would go crazy. I would come home. It was like garlic, curly. I'd be in
right,
the elevator. I'd be like,
and
Jesus wept.
I can
This is the
say
worst.
I can prefer the smell of pot to the smell of curry without being a racist monster. Can't I? Can't I?
My
It's
thing is,
just a
but
personal
my thing is, if
taste.
you gonna complain about the weed, complain about the curry. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? I smell your shit.
right,
You smell my shit. Like it's not pork chops, but it's fucking weed. That's what I'm
right.
cooking over here. Okay, so
But
and
it's
I'm the type of person like if this is my apartment, I do what the fuck I want to. As long as I'm not killing rabbits in this motherfucker and turning them into platinum,
killing rabbits.
just taking rabbits and
Oh,
dipping them in platinum,
you are
bitches.
too
Like,
much.
as long as I'm not doing that shit, leave me the fuck alone.
I
But
knew I'd like you.
oh my God, I'm telling you,
Mm.
it's so funny though.
Oh, this
So when I
is
got to
so.
LA, I was
What?
like, ooh, yeah, I
Oh,
gotta find my man out here. So you gotta look for me a man.
oh, I will.
And I will show you the picture of the
I'm
type
good
of
at
dude I
that.
like.
You know what? I'm good at
I
that.
know,
I'm
see?
not. I don't think anyone could accuse me of being good at keeping any one single relationship of mine going, given that I'm 66 and have never been
You
married.
66?
But that, yes,
Oh shit.
but that has been by design. I mean, I never really wanted to get married, and
Yeah, you look
and
like a
I've
bachelor.
achieved.
You seem like
Well,
a
and also I'm suited to be a bachelor, but but I have been very good at finding someone for someone else and doing that, and I love doing it. I
okay.
loved
Well
it.
then you
I
have
I
got
am
your hardest
yes.
project, sir.
No, it's not a hard project at all. It's an
Sir,
easy
sir,
project.
and I would tell you what I like, sir.
But I have to.
Ooh, I
I know.
like them
You know
terrorist
what?
looking
I know what you
motherfuckers.
like.
I like them to look like they're gonna blow my house up.
I can see.
Yeah. After they blow that pussy up.
I think I know what you like before you even have to tell me,
What is it?
because you are me. I think we're very similar.
It is. It's not like even that I'm like I do like the
No,
pretty boys, but I like.
no, I get it.
I think it's pretty. Like if
You
I
want
like,
masculine energy.
oh my God, I just like them to be
You, I
hairy
mean, I know that
and
masculinity
just.
nowadays
They can cry,
is
but like
toxic, and we're very toxic. But you know what? Life is complicated and nothing is perfect. There's a certain amount of toxicity in everything, like these fucking things we're smoking and the drinks. You know what? I mean, so yes, we're a little toxic, but Jesus Christ, you can't get. There's no win-wins. That whoever taught America that term should
I just
fucking
wish
stick
everybody
their head in
stopped.
the oven.
I just want everybody to stop trying to be Jesus. Just stop trying to be Jesus. You stop.
Well, don't tell it to my gardener. His name is Jesus.
Hilarious. Put on pump. Yo, for
Are
real.
you mocking me?
No, I love
Oh,
that.
oh, okay.
I'm telling you, that's the comic stage.
Well, listen. Before I go, I want to mention you have a podcast.
Yes.
And you, like, there's too many of them, but you are
It really
someone who
is.
completely deserves one and should
And
have
you want to
one.
listen to mine.
I do. I do.
Because the rest of them, I don't know what the fuck they be doing.
Because you're a natural and you worked at it. You know, you're both.
I
And
like
you
it,
have a
like
big dick. So you've got those three
It's
things that
huge.
make you a great lover.
It's so huge. And I love to use it.
Okay. Well, I loved meeting you.
I know.
I hope you had as good a time as I
I
did.
did. It was
Okay.
so crazy.
Me too.
Oh my
So
God.
come back anytime.
Don't say that because
even when we're not filming.
I don't say that because I live close to you, and you'll wake up to
Right,
me going,
I will.
Bam, wake up.
This is a good place to party, isn't it? I mean, couldn't you see? You know why I love it? Because you can't ruin it.
Well,
like you can just be down and dirty here.
Yeah, but I'm just
look
saying,
at this floor.
You gotta get people to sign an NDA before you come in.
There's spiders all around. It's concrete. You can't
you gotta get people to sign an NDA before they come in here.
No,
because shit can happen here. You know what I'm saying?
Just be nice to people, and they won't sue you.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. You need to talk to your lawyer about that.
I think that's when I know I've had way too much fun. But I will say this. If you are nice to people, it cuts down on like 95%.
It does.
People generally...
But people still will sue you.
People, yes.